it's been a few days. Anyway, I didn't film when I was putting together the poles. They're pretty easy. As you can see, they got numbers all over them. The instructions are really good for explaining of how it's done. Just be sure if you get this particular brand that to slide these 2 F pieces on first, and other than that, it's just snap, snap, snap. You might want to use that little piece of metal that I showed you. Just something like, something like this. Just kind of goes over and pushes the 2 nubbins in. You have it on this part right here, and you just push those nubbins right in with it. And then, of course, you're over here, and you're holding it down even, and it just slides right in, and then twist them until they pop out. Pretty easy. But you may not need to do that. There's a lot of pins that get your fingers a little bit tender. So anyway, so here's the framing. Everything except the door. I'll put that on. I think right now I just want to get some of this netting on there while the temperatures are halfway warm. It's in the low 40s right now, and your fingers, the way I weave it in there, you use a lot of fingertip work here, and so that means I'm going to be bare fingers for that, and my hands ain't going to make it in the cold. That's just all there is to it. Anyway, so that's the framing part. A little better look over here, except for the door frame. All right, here we go again. It's a nice day. We got a couple hours of sunlight left. It's going to be 60, and we're going to try to get some of this chicken wire put on this pen. So, for starters, we'll roll it out. I've already taken the wire, the plastic off, and all that. If I roll the thing out the entire length of the pin, it works out just about right. Whenever you put your plastic on, you go from left side bottom rail all the way up and on down to the right side bottom rail. Just trash in the cart. And let's grab a pair of cutters. Here's the wire that comes off of that. Here's another one. I just use this thing. I used to have this rigged up whenever I did the baling wire, or got the wire off of the wire tied bales, and I put this on a thing and just spin it, because I had a lot of them I had to do. I had to go into production. Okay, so here's one here, old and rusty, but still very useful. All right, gotta find a tool. Be right back. So actually, these came with a kit. Can anybody guess where this might have come from? Just leave it in the comments what country. Okay, anyway, but they provided these with the kit, and to cut the wire with. So let's see what they do. because I'm going to cut this one end piece off. See how it's folded over? You can barely see it, but you can see how it's folded over. So I'll cut the end off and have a nice clean edge to start with. So let's do that. Alright, I guess they worked alright. I like these better. Now, for the fun part. So for this first part, I'm just bringing it around. You've got plenty of wire. Make sure you get it all the way to the end. Got plenty of wire. Just fold these things back around themselves. Your fingers start getting sore, and there's a lot of them, so they sure might. You can use a pair of needle nose pliers, because I've done it. Pretty much like a surgeon grabbing a needle. But it's faster if you don't have to. So, and right now, this is a very slow part of the build, so we want to go fast. And this is a little back breaking, if you're wondering. So that's the general idea. Let's see. Excuse me. I hope that focuses. I can't see this thing good enough to tell. But that's all I did. Just kind of match them. For the most part, you're matching your octagons. So just kind of match them, and we'll do this all the way across. So here's how you would, a little detail if you wanted to use these, because your fingers will get sore after a while. Let's take that, whoops, and just curl it around. See again, grab it, curl it around like that. Sorry. If you don't want to go that route, you can go the J-clip route. It'll be a little faster and easier, but it's more permanent than what zip ties will be. You load them like that so that it curls with a single, I don't know what you would call that single piece there. Anyway, but you just simply, then you just take and hit like that, and you could go every other one, like there, and then the next one would be there. I'll get a different little angle. See if you can see that better. See, and you would just curl it around, which I'm not gonna do because I don't want them on there. They look like a bunch of little LED lights. Okay, I got this all where I want it, all the way up to here. So now the bottom, you have to pull it around. You'll have to cut some off. You want a little extra on there because you can't grow it back, and they give you plenty of fence, so you don't have to worry. Let me show you. I had this much fence left over from the first one, so and I cut it pretty tight. So this one here I'm going to cut a little looser because I did short one side and it was right there, but it was a lot of extra work. All right, now onto this part. Now, there's plenty extra on this one. Got to cut that a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and cut it. Now, you know, it's weird. You would think these things run straight, and you can get them pretty straight to all the piping. But they do tend to, you'll start off with, and you're hooking them up on the same row all the way across, but as you get it going across, it starts getting tighter. So I don't know what the physics is behind that, but there's something going on. Okay, so now I'm going to cut it. For the record, this is the harder side because it's under tension. So I try to take, I'm There's so many up. I'm going to keep it in sequence, meaning if it matches this row, I got to keep that in sequence all the way down, or you'll be messed up and I may be off. Anyway. All right, the first panel is in place, and it'll get tighter because I'll J-clip this to this next panel all along through here, every other one, and same way with that down there, make it all look tighter. In the meantime, I'm going to take these zip ties off because I want them to I want this thing to be as to where I can move it if I need to be one way or the other, and I don't want these things hanging me up. Uh-oh. All right. All right, so you get the gist of how to put one panel on. It's what you have to do. It probably took about, I'll show you a little close up of each one if I don't move this too fast. And it probably took about 10 or 15 minutes to tie that together. Same way on the other side. The first side goes faster. It's not under tension, so it's more like 5 to 10 minutes versus probably 5 minutes for each side with zip ties, if that long. But there again, the zip ties, you'll have to replace all of those later on. So you can also take and use wire. That wire they give you that ties up the fencing roll, holds the fencing roll in place. Here comes Mr. Biscuits. Anyway, you can use some of that wire. It won't be enough to do the whole thing, but you can kind of wrap as you go, or wrap individually, however you want to do it. Number of ways to do it. This is the way I like to do it because I'm done with it. Mr. Biscuit likes my knee pad, don't you? Yeah. And I'll probably give it to him now. I'm gonna put one more panel on. So anyway, just repeat what I did on each panel if you want to go that direction, and then I'll show you how to do the ends too. All right.